Welcome to the O'Connor Elder Law channel. I'm your host, Melissa O'Connor. I'm a Florida-based elder law attorney who does estate planning, commonly referred to as Medicaid planning, and I do probate, and I do it well. Today I wanted to talk to you about a dementia extension on one's living will. Some people kind of refer to things like this as some sort of advance directive about assisted euthanasia or physician-assisted suicide. We don't have that in the US, but you can get this dementia extension. But before I do, I wanted to invite you to schedule a free strategy session with me at eldermeeting.com. So this dementia extension, it's essentially a document that you could add to your living will that outlines your wishes of how you would like to be treated and how you would like to have your last days be handled if you have a dementia diagnosis. One of the things that it's important to note is that you need to start the conversations early, right? With your treating providers as to your end-of-life wishes, and you need to have them actually, your doctors that is, actually document your file as to what you want. Not just have them say, oh yeah, I hear you, and not put anything in the record. You want them to actually write down in your medical record what your wishes are, while you're still sharp and of sound mind, because as the law changes and as things, we progress in society, right? One of the things that's always going to be at issue is whether or not you knew what you wanted and you were consistent in your wishes over time, right? If anybody were to challenge your wishes, you would, as long as you are consistent and you have medical records that show and demonstrate that these were your wishes, for years and years, right? Or months and months and months, that you never wavered in your desires as to how you want your end times to be. Do you want comfort medicines like morphine, right? Arguably morphine can slow your breathing, slow, those sorts of things. Also, do you want to be force-fed food, right? Because some dementia patients forget to eat or stop eating, and you need then a caregiver, somebody else to spoon feed you food, or otherwise people sometimes horribly get tubes, right, to be fed. Is that something that you want or you don't want? Because there's no obligation, right, that if you stop eating, eventually your organs do slow and shut down and all that. And I don't know. These are really uncomfortable conversations, right? And they're not for everybody. Some people have strong feelings about sanctity of life and wanting to do everything possible to live, right? And then some people say, oh, I don't ever want to have to live in this condition. So there's like the whole spectrum of where people fall in this conversation. And so if the point of this video is just to have these uncomfortable conversations about your wishes with the people in your life is the best way of having your wishes honored, right? And so having these dementia extensions for your documents, it's a step, right? But we don't have physician-assisted suicide in the United States. I just want to make that very clear. But what we do have is we have advance directives where you can state what your wishes are, so that way people know what interventions you want and what you don't want. So that way when the time comes, ideally, we can honor your wishes to the best of our ability under the law at that time. I hope that this information has been helpful to you. If it has, I ask that you like and share with others. Thank you for joining me.